You've been lied to since the day you were born. Everything they told you about love, women, and relationships was part of a carefully constructed illusion, one designed to keep you blind, compliant, and emotionally vulnerable. From movies to schoolbooks, you were taught that love is sacred. That one day, you'd find a woman who completes you. That you're supposed to chase her, win her over, treat her like a queen, and in return, she'll love you forever. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud: love isn't real. Not in the way you were led to believe. What you call falling in love is a biological response, a chemical hijack. You're not thinking with your heart. You're reacting with your instincts. You believe you're choosing her. But what's actually happening is a genetic program executing in the background. Her physical traits, her face, her body, the tone of her voice, they're all signals. Signals that trigger your subconscious desire to reproduce. It's not love. It's survival. And while you're falling headfirst into the fantasy, she's calculating. Assessing your usefulness. Measuring your potential to provide, to protect, to elevate her status. You see her as special. She sees you as a variable. This is the part they never taught you. The emotions you feel aren't divine. They're tactical. Your brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, the same chemicals that drive addiction. You become obsessed with her. Not because she's your soulmate, but because nature is programming you to pursue. And when that chemical high fades, when reality sets in, you start to realize something feels wrong. But by then, it's too late. You're already invested. You're already committed. You're already playing a game where the rules were never explained to you. You think she changed. But she didn't. She just stopped pretending. Because she got what she wanted. This is the illusion, the one men all over the world are trapped in. Believing that love is unconditional. That women are nurturing by default. That if you give more, you'll receive more. But the truth is much darker. And unless you see it for what it is, you will stay lost in the fantasy, giving everything you have in exchange for nothing real. This is your wake-up call. In the next segment, we go deeper into how biology, not emotion, controls the entire game. Everything you feel is biology. That rush when you see her smile. That ache when she doesn't text back. That fire when she touches your arm. You think it's connection. It's not. It's chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, testosterone, pulling your strings like a puppet. You're not in control. You never were. Nature designed you to pursue. To sacrifice. To compete. And when you meet a woman who fits your subconscious criteria, youth, fertility, physical symmetry, your brain floods itself with false meaning. Suddenly she's the one. You feel like it's destiny. But it's not destiny. It's programming. It's instinct. And she knows how to use it. Because while you're chasing the high of love, she's evaluating. Watching. Testing. She doesn't fall in love with how you feel. She attaches based on what you provide, emotionally, financially, socially. Her system is different. It's not driven by passion. It's driven by selection. You see her as an end goal. She sees you as an option. And once you start investing, once you start believing this is something sacred, you become predictable. You become manageable. She knows exactly what to say, how to behave, what emotion to trigger to keep you engaged. Not because she's malicious, but because it's natural. Women didn't choose this system. Evolution did. But that doesn't make it any less dangerous. You think you're winning her over with love. She's measuring ROI, return on investment. Your attention. Your resources. your willingness to comply. She's testing your value, while you're offering your heart. And this is why so many men break down when the illusion fades. They thought it was about connection. She knew it was about advantage. You believed that giving more would make her stay. That being loyal, generous, emotionally available would make you irreplaceable. But the moment your value slips, the second you stop producing, providing, exciting, she detaches. No warning. No remorse. No explanation. Because nature doesn't reward love. It rewards utility. And when your utility expires, you become invisible. Disposable. Forgotten. This is the biological setup. It's not romantic. It's not fair. It's not poetic. But it is real. And if you don't see it for what it is, you'll keep playing the role of the obedient provider, begging for affection, chasing commitment, offering your soul to someone who was never emotionally invested to begin with. In the next segment, we uncover the next layer: how women use emotion, not logic, not force, to manipulate relationships and dominate men without lifting a finger. She doesn't need power. She doesn't need muscles. She doesn't need to raise her voice. All she needs is your emotions. Because that's where the real war is fought. Not in arguments. Not in logic. But in silence. In guilt. In emotional tension so thick you can't even breathe. You don't realize it, but from the start, she's testing you. Not for strength. Not for kindness. But for control. It starts with small things. She gets moody, and you try to fix it. She cries, and you feel responsible. She pulls back emotionally, and you start chasing her. Each time you react, she learns. Learns what gets to you. What makes you fold. What makes you give in. And the more you care, the more she controls. Not because she's evil. Not because she's calculating. But because emotional manipulation is her natural advantage. She doesn't win with force, she wins with feeling. Every pout, every cold shoulder, every carefully timed silence, it's communication. Not to express pain, but to shift power. You think the relationship is equal. It's not. You're reacting. She's steering. And it's all invisible. You don't even notice it happening. You think you're being a good partner, listening, compromising, adapting. But in reality, you're being conditioned. To tiptoe around her moods. To overthink every word. To ask for permission instead of leading. You stop being a man. You become a mirror, reflecting whatever she needs you to be in that moment. And the more you try to please her, the less she respects you. Because deep down, even she knows, real strength doesn't beg. It doesn't bend for validation. But that's the trap. You're emotionally invested. You feel love. You want to protect her, make her happy, keep the peace. So you trade your edge for approval. And once she knows she has that power, the game is hers. She decides when you feel safe. When you feel close. When you feel like a man. All based on how well you respond to the emotional script. You're not leading the relationship. You're surviving it. And here's the truth no one says out loud. The more emotionally intelligent you are, the easier you are to manipulate. Because you're in tune with feelings. You listen. You adapt. And that makes you predictable. She doesn't need to argue. She just needs to withdraw. She doesn't need to demand. She just needs to imply. And you'll come running. In the next segment, we expose the bigger picture, how men are trapped in a system, social, legal, psychological, that's designed to keep them giving, sacrificing, and losing. You think you're building a future. You think you're doing the right thing. Find a good woman. Settle down. Get married. Buy a house. Start a family. That's the script. The dream. The promise. But no one told you what happens when the script breaks. No one told you what you're risking when you sign your name to that life. Because the system wasn't built for you, it was built to use you. From the moment you step into the role of provider, protector, partner, the pressure begins. You're expected to give, to show up, to sacrifice. And if you don't, you're labeled selfish, immature, toxic. But look closer. Ask the question no one dares to ask. What does a man actually gain? Love? Conditional? Loyalty? Temporary? Respect? Based on performance. Everything you get can be taken the moment you stop being useful. And when it falls apart, and it will, the consequences hit you harder than anyone else. Because now the system steps in. She gets the sympathy. You get the silence. She gets custody. You get the court order. She walks away with support. You walk away with a bill. And the worst part? You still think it's your fault. You think you weren't enough. You think if you just tried harder, gave more, stayed patient, it could have worked. But that's the lie you've been sold your whole life. That if a relationship fails, the man must be broken. No one tells you the system was never fair. That once you step into it, you're not protected, you're exposed. You're a resource. A utility. A function. And once that function ends, you're discarded. Men are shamed into commitment and punished for escaping it. You're told to take responsibility, but not authority. You're told to provide, but not question. You're told to lead, but only in the direction she approves. This is the modern dynamic. It's not just about love. It's about control. And every part of the system, media, schools, government, reinforces it. Telling you to chase her. Validate her. Submit to her emotions. While you shrink. Fade. Forget who you were before all this began. But the truth is simple. Most men aren't in relationships. They're in contracts they don't understand. Games they can't win. Battles they can't name. And the longer you stay blind, the deeper you sink. Until one day you wake up, alone, drained, confused, wondering how it all fell apart. In the final segment, we reveal what it means to wake up. To walk away from the illusion. And to live by your own code, no longer seeking love, but reclaiming power. You've seen the pattern. You've felt the weight. You've played the role, followed the rules, and still lost. Now you have a choice. Stay in the illusion. Or walk away. Because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. There's no reward for loyalty. No prize for suffering in silence. No glory in being the nice guy who gave everything and got nothing back. You were taught that love is the answer. But now you see it for what it really is, a mechanism. A setup. Not designed to uplift men, but to extract from them. And if you keep chasing it, you'll keep bleeding for it. This isn't about hate. It's not about blaming women. It's about seeing the machine clearly, for the first time. Understanding that what you were taught to value was never about truth. It was about control. They want you tame. They want you compliant. They want you spending your life proving your worth to someone who's never required to do the same. But the moment you stop seeking validation, the second you pull your energy back, you become untouchable. You stop giving your time to women who see you as an asset. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't care about the truth. You stop bending over backwards for love that disappears the moment it's not convenient. And that's where the real freedom begins. When you realize that you are enough, without playing their game. When your purpose comes first. Your discipline. Your mission. Not because it makes you more attractive. Not because it'll bring her back. But because it's the only way out of the prison. You don't need her to complete you. You need to rebuild what they broke, your spine, your focus, your edge. This isn't about going your own way. It's about becoming your own man. One who sees through the fantasy. Who doesn't flinch at the truth. And who no longer trades his soul for a smile. So walk away from the illusion. Not in bitterness, but in power. They wanted you soft. You chose clarity. They wanted you silent. You chose truth. Now it's your turn to rewrite the story. No more chasing. No more pleading. No more pretending. Just one man. With his eyes open. And nothing left to lose.